We have encountered numerous strong trainers throughout the main series Pokemon games, but more often than not, they hold the title as either a gym leader, Elite Four member, or champion. The Hoenn region, however, introduced a whole host of super powerful trainers said to be around the same strength as the Elite Four, but not part of the Pokemon League itself. Instead, they're part of what is called the Battle Frontier, a large island consisting of several battle facilities that are meant to comprise a challenge that rivals or perhaps even surpasses that of the Hoenn League itself. After all, the player cannot get their Frontier Pass until they become the champion, making it a post-game endeavor that's meant to be challenging for even a current champion. The Battle Frontier was only accessible in Pokemon Emerald version, and it includes 7 battle facilities that the player has to make their way through before they can challenge the focus of today's episode, the Frontier Brains. The Frontier Brains are exceptionally powerful trainers who preside over each of the facilities and are only able to be battled after the challenging trainer has proved great success within their respective facility. If they're defeated, they'll give either a silver or gold symbol depending on how far they've progressed. Unfortunately, similar to Gen 5's Pokemon World Tournament, the Battle Frontier does operate using automatically set levels, so it's hard to determine exactly how strong the Frontier Brains would be otherwise. The Frontier Brains Pokemon are automatically set to level 50 or somewhere between level 60 to 100. So you might be asking yourself, Sylph, how in the world are you going to determine their real strength? Well, there is a way thanks to one of the Frontier Brains appearing elsewhere in the series with their real levels. Due to the nature of the Battle Frontier, this episode of True Power will be ever so slightly more speculative than most, but I've done as much as I can to try to make this as accurate as possible. I hope you guys enjoyed this special episode of the series. Needless to say, we know that the Battle Frontier Brains are very powerful trainers, but how strong are they really? Using all of their appearances in the main series games, it's time to determine their best teams. It's time to find out their true power. The first Frontier Brain we're going to cover is actually the last one canonically speaking, but we're going to discuss her for a particular reason. Annabelle. Back in the events of Emerald, Annabelle oversaw the Battle Tower with the official title of the Salon Maiden, although this title was later changed to the Tower Tycoon. Annabelle presided over the ability symbol. She was only able to be challenged for the silver symbol if the player achieved 35 consecutive wins in a row in the Battle Tower, and she could be challenged again after 70 wins for the gold symbol. Although she has an air of mystery about her, Annabelle is quite a straightforward person, merely seeking to gauge any challenger's strength against her own, and is quite adamant that they don't hold back in the slightest. In our Silver Symbol Challenge, Annabelle has an Alakazam, followed by a legendary Pokemon, Entei, and finally a Snorlax. In our Gold Challenge, Annabelle has 2 new Pokemon. She now starts with another legendary beast, Raikou, the legendary Latios, and her Snorlax. Having legendary Pokemon, we begin to understand how strong Frontier Brains can be, but Annabelle actually appears elsewhere in the series other than just in Emerald at the Battle Frontier. Fast forward to Gen 7 and we got quite a surprise. After 4 generations, Annabelle actually returned, although her story between that time is something else. Apparently, a decade before the events of Sun and Moon, Annabelle was found unconscious by International Police member Looker, and she could only remember that she was from Hoenn, was a strong trainer, and that she protected a tower of sorts. Looker detected high levels of wormhole energy from her, indicating that she might have traveled through one. Eventually, she joined the International Police, becoming part of the Ultra Beast Task Force, and that's when the player meets her. Looker in fact uses her to test the player's strength to see whether or not they're capable of helping the force out. And in this battle, we finally get to see the real levels of a Frontier Brain. Annabelle starts the battle with her Alakazam at level 61, followed by a brand new Weavile at level 61, a brand new Mismagius at the same level, a brand new Salamence at 61, and finally her Snorlax also at level 61. With a confirmation of levels and some new additions to her collection, this appearance really helps us gauge Annabelle's strength, but this wasn't actually her final appearance. Annabelle's final appearance in the main series games occurs at the end of Sun, Moon, Ultra Sun, and Ultra Moon, where she actually participates in the Battle Tree post-game facility. Although all her Pokemon are automatically set to level 50 as per facility rules, there are some key developments that absolutely shake up our conception of her strength. In the Battle Tree, she rotates between her Alakazam, which now holds the Alakazite, confirming that Annabelle has achieved Mega Evolution, followed by her Snorlax, Raikou, Entei, her Latios now also having access to its Mega Stone, the Latiosite, and finally a brand new Lucario which also has its Mega Stone, the Lucarionite. Between new team additions and the addition of Mega Stones, this appearance drastically changes our ideas about Annabelle's power. For her best team, we're going to put her Lucario first with its Mega Stone, making it a Mega Lucario. Although she does have other Megas, the Lucario Knight brings Lucario a lot further competitively than the other Mega Stones bring to their respective Pokemon. Since all of her Pokemon that we've seen the level of are at level 61, we can safely assume this thing would be somewhere around level 60. Next, we're going to go with her Weavile at level 61, followed by her Salamence at level 61, her Latios around level 60, her level 61 Alakazam, and her level 61 Snorlax. She does have a few other great Pokemon such as her level 60 Raikou, her level 60 Entei, and her level 61 Miss Magius, which could find a spot on this team depending on who she's facing. Next, we're going to head to the Battle Arena, which is led by Frontier Brain Greta, whose official title is the Arena Tycoon. Greta has a very intense personality but is willing to begin battles taking it a bit easy to test her challengers out, but then gradually builds up her effort as her opponents demonstrates their skill and capability to keep up. Greta presides over the Guts symbol and can be challenged for the Silver symbol after 28 wins, where she has a Heracross, Umbreon, and Shedinja, and after 56 wins for the Gold symbol, she has the same Umbreon, a new Gengar, and a new Breloom. Since she only has 5 unique Pokemon, we'll have to draw from the anime here, which we'll have to do for a couple trainers, but the Frontier Brains do have quite consistent rosters between the anime, manga, and video games. In the anime, she also has a Hariyama and a Medicham. For her best team, I think we'll put her Medicham on, and of course, like Annabelle, we can probably assume her Pokemon are around the same level at that level 60 mark, especially given that the Gold symbol challenges see all the Frontier Brains start at level 60. Moving to the Battle Dome, we have Frontier Brain Tucker, known officially as the Dome Ace. Tucker is very much narcissistic and enjoys being in the spotlight in front of the crowd as a celebrity of sorts. With that said, he does take his losses well, merely stating that the player might one day become a superstar like him. Tucker presides over the Tactics symbol, and the way he can be challenged is kind of interesting since the Battle Dome challenge consists of a tournament of 16 people. If the player wins 5 tournaments, they can challenge Tucker, who for the Silver symbol will use 2 of either his Swampert, Salamence, or his Charizard. For the Gold symbol, after the player has won 10 tournaments, he will use 2 of either his Swampert, a new Metagross, or a new legendary Latias. Since the game only shows us 5 of his unique Pokemon, we'll have to draw from his anime appearances in which he has a Swampert, but also a brand new Arcanine as well, which will take the last best team spot. The Battle Pike is up next, which looks like a Seviper on the outside, which is pretty cool, and it's led by Frontier Brain Lucy, known as the Pike Queen. Lucy is a very headstrong and serious trainer who is not one for chatter, but rather likes to get down to business. She is known to have worked exceptionally hard to get to her position and presides over the Luck symbol. After the player passes through the Pike twice, they can challenge Lucy for the Silver symbol, where she has a Seviper, Shuckle, and a Milotic as well. For the Gold symbol, the player has to pass through the Pike 10 times, where she can be challenged with her Seviper, a new Steelix, and a new Gyarados as well. For her 6th Pokemon, we can draw from one of her many Pokemon she's seen to have at home, including an Abra, Cyndaquil, Swinub, Makuhita, Skitty, and a Snorlax, the last of which will definitely be the best choice for her best team. The 5th facility is going to be the Battle Palace, which is run by Frontier Brain Spencer, who is known as the Palace Maven. Spencer is a very wise and sometimes intimidating Frontier Brain and is known for prioritizing the bond between him and his Pokemon beyond all else. Despite his wise and sage-like demeanor, he does not shy away from intimidating his opponents, at times even calling them wimpy and yelling at them with loud threats. Spencer holds the Spirit symbol, and for the Silver symbol, the challenger has to have a win streak of 21, which takes 3 trips through, where he has a Crobat, a Slaking, and a Lapras. For the Gold symbol, Spencer requires the challenger to have a streak of 41, which takes a total of 6 trips, where he'll have a new Arcanine, his Slaking, and finally a brand new legendary Suicune as well. For his 6th Pokemon, we have a few options. Spencer also has an Azurill and Dusclops that are seen on the field but are not used in battle, and in the anime he also has a Shiftry, Claydol, and Venusaur, the last of which we'll put on his best team. The second last Battle Frontier facility we have to analyze is the Battle Pyramid, which is run by Brandon, who, along with Annabelle, is known as being one of the strongest Frontier Brains. Brandon's title is the Pyramid King, and he is a very commanding and adventurous individual with a positive and encouraging spirit, although he certainly does not tolerate any trainers giving anything less than 100% of their effort. Brandon presides over the Brave symbol, and to challenge him for the Silver symbol, the player has to clear 21 floors of the pyramid through 3 rounds. In this battle, Brandon will have 3 legendary Pokemon, a Regirock, Registeel, and Regice, showing that he has the original Regi trio in full. If the player completes 70 floors over 10 rounds, they can then challenge him for the Gold symbol, where he has another legendary trio. Moltres, Zapdos, and Articuno. All 6 of Brandon's Pokemon for his best team then will be legendaries. Crazy. The final battle facility we'll cover is the Battle Factory, which is led by Frontier Brain Nolan, whose official title is the Factory Head. Nolan is sort of a hardened individual who is obsessed with knowledge about Pokemon. However, he says that reading books is not enough and really believes in experience in battle, which he says is where knowledge really comes from. Naturally then, Nolan presides over the knowledge symbol and can be challenged for the silver symbol at the 21st consecutive victory a challenger reaches, which takes 3 runs through the factory. He can also be challenged for the gold symbol after 42 consecutive victories, which takes 6 runs. Interestingly, since the Battle Factory is dedicated for research, all trainers, including Nolan himself, use randomized rental Pokemon, so it's impossible to establish his best team from the main series games alone. Since there is remarkable consistency between mediums for the Battle Frontier trainers, we can draw from the anime though, where he's seen to have a variety of his own Pokemon. At the Battle Factory, Nolan has a Venusaur, Machamp, Rhyhorn, Breloom, Rhydon, Lairon, Pinsir, Camerupt, Sandslash, Golduck, Manectric, and Trapinch. For his best team, we'll choose his Breloom first. Second will be his Pinsir, which in Pokemon Masters, which was confirmed to reflect canon developments as per the developers working with the Pokemon Company, actually holds a Pinsirite, meaning Nolan has access to Mega Evolution and a beastly Mega Pinsir. We'll then instate his Venusaur, Machamp, his Rhydon, which we can assume has evolved in the decade plus that has passed since then, and of course Rhydon's evolutionary method wasn't known back in Gen 3 when we first saw it, and finally his Manectric. Well, there we go everyone, we have discovered the Hoenn Battle Frontier's true power and unveiled their strongest possible team in the main series games. If you enjoyed the video and are looking forward to more from this series, please be sure to leave a like, share it on social media, and subscribe with notifications on by hitting that bell icon if you haven't already. Don't forget to comment down below with what trainer you wish to see featured next. The comment with the most likes will pick the trainer for the next week's episode and will be featured on screen. Before we go, I'd just like to give a quick shout out to my patrons. Thank you guys so much for your support. If you enjoy my content and would like to support the channel and get some cool perks, the link to my Patreon page will be in the description below. This has been Spectre, and I'll see you guys next time for some more True Power.